Microsoft spent a decade trying to make your phone and computer work as one device, and they failed spectacularly. Now, Google just walked on the stage with Qualcomm and basically said, hold on to my energy drink. The Qualcomm CEO literally said, I've seen it, it's incredible. When was the last time you heard a CEO gush like that about their unreleased tech? This isn't another Chromebook refresh or Android tablet experiment. Google's taking direct aim at Windows with a full PC operating system, and they're bringing the entire Android ecosystem with them. After working in this industry for a long time, I can tell you this changes everything for developers, businesses, and anyone who's been frustrated with their computer, because suddenly this could reignite app development like we haven't seen in a long time. So let's break this down and talk about this today. Welcome to Startup Pack. I'm Spencer, and here at Startup Pack, we train software developers and build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. All right, so Google and Qualcomm just dropped this announcement at the Snapdragon Summit, and the tech world is buzzing. This isn't hype. This is Google finally doing what everyone's been waiting for a long time, merging Chrome OS and Android into one powerhouse PC platform. Now, Microsoft tried this convergence thing with Windows 10 and Continuum. Apple's been teasing it with their ecosystem, but Google, they're going all in. So let's dive in and take a look at some of these articles here. Let me get this switched over here. So we can see that Google's Android for PC platform teased by Qualcomm CEO. And he's saying they're working to merge Android and Chrome OS to create a single platform for PCs, according to Google and Qualcomm. Qualcomm CEO said that he has seen a version of the software and described the platform as incredible, explaining that he can't wait to have one. Now, this could be really interesting because, and let's see if we can find some more details here, right? The details are pretty sparse as of right now. He said in the past, we've always had very different systems between what we're building on PCs, what we're building on smartphones, and we've embarked on a project to combine that. We're building together a common technical foundation for our products on PC and desktop computing. So he explained that by saying Google wants to bring all of Android's AI features and apps to the PC ecosystem. Ammon replied, saying he's already seen Android for PC and called the experiment incredible. They didn't go into any other details, so it's been a really big, pretty vague here, right? Lots of different talk about it, but the biggest thing is you can see how many people are talking about this. So while we don't have a lot of details, we can definitely see there's a lot of interest in this. Now, the thing that'll be interesting about this is if Qualcomm and Google go into this together, you could get into a very good ecosystem, which is something that we've struggled with before. Apple's done really well with this because they're able to work on both the hardware and the software together. So what could be really interesting is to watch Google be able to optimize this. Now, I did recently just invest into one of the ARM-based Surface laptops. Now, I do a lot of management. I do code here and there, and I definitely spend a lot of time reviewing code, and I work. But most of the stuff that I do, all the heavy lifting for AI builds and those kind of things, they're done on large servers, right? I have a playlist about how I can build DIY AI servers, right? So I don't do a lot of heavy lifting on my laptop. And so I'll run the occasional prompt here and there and those kind of things using Olama and other AI platforms, but I'm not going to do the heavy lifting on my laptop because I got servers and whole server infrastructures for that. So I decided to go with the ARM64 based Windows Surface laptop, and I did a lot of research on it, and it has the Snapdragon Extreme processor on it. And actually, I've been pretty happy with it. There's a couple of things that I've seen, and I'll talk about them a little bit here as I've started to use it. And I'm not trying to make this a review for this, but what makes this really exciting for me is when we start looking at an operating system like Android that's already designed to run on these things here, right? You know, and I'm an Android guy, right? And I know that these run really well here. To get into a one device type of ecosystem suddenly becomes really interesting, right? And so if Android can run as good on a laptop, then what would stop us from just making Android the power and starting to do these docking type stations? This could go a long different ways. Now, Google confirmed that they're building a common technical foundation that combines Chrome OS and Android into one platform. So this isn't just adding Android app supports to Chromebook. They're rebuilding Chrome OS on top of Android's core technology. So right now, Chrome OS runs Android apps through virtual machines, which is clunky and inefficient. The new approach makes Android the foundation with all the desktop features you'd expect to be built on top of. Now, Rick Ostroslow from Google stated that they've done having, quote, very different systems between what we're building on PCs and what we're building on smartphones. And I think we read that quote. This means your phone, tablet, and laptop could all run variations of the same underlying system, true cross-device consistency. Now, Google picked Qualcomm Snapdragon chips to power these new Android PCs, not Intel or AMD processors. Qualcomm's ARM-based Orion CPUs deliver better battery life and efficiency than traditional x86 chips. Now on this laptop I'm talking about, I've really seen this. This is one of the longest Windows-based battery systems I've ever seen, and it's really impressive. I definitely get upwards of 18 hours worth of true battery life on the system. Very, very impressive. Um, Now, current Chromebooks mostly use Intel processors, so this represents a major shift in Google's hardware strategy. Qualcomm CEO his excitement is genuine, right? And I think he's seeing that they're starting to get a foothold into the Windows market. Now, this ARM architecture means that these machines could run cool, last all day, and potentially cost less than traditional laptops. Now, as always, the best compliment you can give me is by leaving a comment down below to make sure, even if nothing else, just to say hi. But let me know your thoughts about what this shift could be and what it could mean for you if your machine were actually running Android. Would you even try that? Now, when he said, I've seen it and it's incredible on the stage, he wasn't just marketing speak. This was actual genuine enthusiasm. He continues, it delivers on a vision of convergence of mobile and PC. I can't wait to have one. Now, the fact that he wants one personally suggests this isn't just enterprise focused, but consumer grade. So when hardware and software companies get this aligned and excited, it usually means something real is coming. Now, they laid out Google's complete vision, bringing their full stack to PCs, including Gemini AI models and Google Assistant. So this is what I've been talking about here, where we are going to start seeing these models trim down, get smaller, get specific, and get onto devices. That's what I want to see, so that my data is not leaving my machine. The strategy is to leverage all the great work they've done on their AI stack and bring it to the desktop computing. Google wants to make Android serve everyone in every computing category: phones, tablets, cars, XR headsets, and now PCs. So the developer community gets pulled along, meaning millions of Android apps could work on your laptop. Now, this is kind of interesting because most of this that we've seen in the past has been really kludgy. So I want to see a really smooth interface with this. Now, Google's positioning Gemini as the brain of the new PC platform, and that's where this could get a little interesting and a little dicey. So far, when Windows did Copilot, it failed miserably. I don't know anybody who uses Copilot that's built into Windows. The Google Assistant integration means voice control and automation could actually understand your context because it could have access to your apps. Now, again, I'm not sure I would go turn this on right away, especially because if I know Google, it's pumping all this up into the cloud. But this would be interesting if Google can get this out ahead of Apple, who we know is doing a lot of AI rebuilds. Now, remember on Windows 10 Mobile and Continuum, where your phone was supposed to become your PC? Well, Microsoft killed that a long time ago, and they spent billions of dollars trying to make Windows work on your phone and enable true device convergence. But this was a total disaster. Microsoft's failure came from trying to maintain backwards compatibility with decades of legacy Windows software. Google has the advantage of starting fresher with Android and not being chained to 30 years of Windows baggage. So, and after a long time in this industry, I've seen these battles before. Google learned from Microsoft's mistakes, so being the latecomer to this might actually get to play to their advantage. Now, Windows currently owns about 70% of the desktop market. Google is coming for that dominance. Intel and AMD have had their business models on x86 chips for PCs. ARM-based Windows, Android PCs threaten that monopoly. If Android PCs can take off, Windows could face its first real existential threat since the 1990s. So Microsoft's response will be fascinating. Do they double down on Windows or try another mobile play? Now, Android has millions of apps, but most are designed for touchscreens and vertical phone displays. Google needs developers to build desktop optimized versions, not just stretched out mobile apps. The Play Store could become relevant on PCs for the first time if Google solves the interface problem. But we'll see. I think these aren't trivial problems to solve. Developers will need to rethink their Android apps for keyboard, mouse, and multi-window workflows. So I recently tried to actually take my phone, which is a Samsung, and try to use Dex to see if I could even use it. And honestly, it didn't even recognize my keyboard and mouse very well. Now, I know there are some hubs that you could, but I tried 2 or 3 of them, the ones I had laying around, and none of them would recognize the keyboard and mouse, which was obviously a deal breaker for me then. So Apple proved that ARM can power professional grade computers with their M series chips. So now Google and Qualcomm want to jump into this. ARM chips use less power and generate less heat, making making fanless designs and all-day battery life a possibility. Now, Windows on ARMs has kind of been a struggle, but in my case, I've only found one app, and it was an old kludgy app that I do still use, but it didn't work on ARM, and it's been giving me grief. Other than that, I've been able to get all of my apps to work without any problem. They just kind of worked out of the box. Now, reports first suggest the device won't ship until late 2026 or early 2027 at the earliest. Now, I'm curious because that's a long time. What do you guys think? Do you think that's going to be too long? I think these others could jump in and could make a play before then. Qualcomm needs time to ramp up production of PC-class Snapdragon chips in volume. Early adopters might see developer preview devices sooner, but the mass market rollout is still a long ways away. So Google says Chromebooks aren't going away, but reading between the lines suggests they'll eventually transition to Android. Future Chromebooks might just be Android PCs with a Chrome-style experience on top. Now, the rumored Pixel laptop could be the flagship device that shows off what Android can do on a PC hardware. So schools love Chromebooks for their simplicity and management tools. Google needs to preserve that in order to transition because they don't want to lose that market share. Chrome browsers and web apps will still obviously be central, but now with native Android support baked in. The Chrome OS brand might stick around even as an underlying technology, as the underlying OS becomes Android. Now, Android developers suddenly have access to PC-class hardware with bigger screens and more memory. Building desktop apps could get easier when you use Android tools and languages you already know. So this could spark a new wave of innovative desktop applications for mobile-first developers who never targeted traditional PCs. Now, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Do you think this is more of just noise? Do you think this is Microsoft or Google trying to take a stab at Microsoft? What do you guys think? So as always, here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers as well as build custom software solutions for companies. So reach out because we'd love to help. Check out startuphack.com/Spencer and here's some great information about our services.
Hi, I'm Spencer, a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and 25 years in software development, I've transformed technology teams and products for businesses just like yours. As your fractional CTO, you get the strategic guidance of a seasoned technology executive without the full-time commitment. Perfect for companies ready to leverage cutting-edge technology without expanding headcount. My team at Startup Hack has already built advanced AI agents for small and medium businesses, automating complex workflows and delivering advanced ROI to human workflows. We specialize in creating custom software that connects your systems into a single coherent technology ecosystem. Our development approach focuses on tangible business outcomes. For one client, we developed AI-powered workflows that cut days off of human processes. For another company, by connecting multiple systems, we reduced processing time to increase their ROI by over 75%. We don't just write code, we architect solutions that scale. Whether you need cloud system architecture, data integration between legacy systems, or custom AI agents that automate your unique business processes, my team delivers results that exceed your expectations. Having led technology for a lot of companies and launched 7 successful brands of my own, I bring battle-tested expertise to your business challenges. Our specialty is turning technological complexity into business advantage. So if you're ready to harness the power of AI and custom software to drive your business forward, let's connect. Together, we'll build technology that doesn't just solve today's problems, it positions you for tomorrow's opportunities. Technology leadership, decades of experience, AI powered. Reach out today and we can help you. Check out startuphack.com/Spencer.